Told you you'd miss it.
Who do you trust in military intelligence?
I co-signed Martha Rayburn's car loan.
Listen, Gladys, I gotta buy some time here. I'm gonna need the imagery analysis for a military prison near Suchow, and if you use the phones, don't use these.
Any chance I could lose my job over this? Good. I didn't want to work for Andy Younger anyway.
We need the press on this like we need a third tit.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure. Well, hello there, and welcome to the final episode of Film Sack for the year 2024. I'm Scott Johnson. We're mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. Joining us also, Brian. Ever experience a good Vaseline electrocution done away?
Oh, once a day, at least. Oh, hi.
Nice.
This week on Film Sack, we take a mental picture of the room. One hot hostess, check. One oddly shaped man in the reflection of a coffee pot, check. Still waiting on my 12-year-old scotch to arrive so I can stomach the spy game, check. Game? More like a boring-ass job game that involves paperwork, meetings, phone calls, more paperwork, and at least one fax. You know what? Screw that. Just throw me into a Chinese prison for a friendly 2-hour beating after we dash across the war-torn streets of Netflix to dine out this 2001 action thriller asset now blowing ridiculously sized bubbles from the shut up already, do you want to get us caught chewing gum? We gamed them. Damn it, guy, that was chewing gum. Not bubble gum. Anywho, I think I just gave you 4 pieces of personal information for one dubious impersonal fact. 1, you're straight until you're bi. 2, your ex-wives are fiction. 3, you weren't invited to the retirement party. And 4, puke pills are best shaken, not stirred. Randy, you really put the ass in asset. Want to hook up later?
Puke pills. Oh my gosh, I hated that
Puke
scene.
pills, you was shaking the shit out of those things.
We also have with us Randy. I really appreciated the time he tossed me a stick of fruity gum in torture prison, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott, Brian. Thanks for coming to this room where we talk while being recorded by 4 or 5 different reel-to-reel tape recorders. Do we really need that many? I mean, couldn't we just have one and a backup and then make duplicates of what we record? And where are all the microphones for these different devices? This room makes no sense. And then you go to the Far East and it's like it's always night. And you go to the Middle East and everything looks yellow and brown and white. Like, what's happening? Why are things so different in our world? I don't understand. Why, we go outside here in Virginia and everything's washed out. What's happening? It's you know what? Let's just call it amazing. What an amazing world we live in. So now you're ready to fix everything without ever leaving this building, as long as you follow these 3 rules. Number 1, I guess you need to make sure that everything everyone knows about you is a lie. So much so that they can't give you a birthday gift on your birthday. So that when they do give you a really nice flask, for instance, it's never mentioned or seen again. Number 2. If you're ever confronted by an unexpected witness, simply throw gum to him, and if he likes how it smells, you get to move on to the next mini-boss. Number 3, it's easy to get what you want by simply stealing it. Just walk into anyone's office and take what you want. Agent Ibbett here got his virginity taken that way.
It's true. That's true. Can confirm. Also, speaking of which,
Scott probably has audio of it.
That's right, someplace. Hey, look, it's Brian. There sure is a lot of MCU and Game of Thrones and Gladiator connections in this Ibbett.
I don't know.
Boy, are there. Yeah, we need some Brad Pitt in the MCU too while we're at it.
Yeah.
So it's end of year, guys. And do you guys want to take a guess? So we've had some roundtables, but do you want to take a guess as to how many movies we've watched this year?
Oh my gosh, guesswork.
Less than 52.
It is less than 52. That's good. Yep.
I'm going to say 43.
Oh my gosh. One of you said, Randy said 45. Scott, you said 43.
47.
It's actually 44. Right
Ow, damn it. Damn it.
So let's do 88 lines about 44 movies.
Wow.
You know what surprises me? I thought they would be completely in order, but it changed
yeah,
up.
no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no! The being able to come up with rhymes for
I was
all
about
of
to
those.
say, Jeebus, that's so many movies to
That's
read.
a
Yeah, it's
lot of
so many
movies.
movies.
Holy shit.
And hopefully you can figure out some of them. I didn't put the name in. I secretly put the name in a couple of them, but some of them don't
Have
have
you
the
been
names
working on
anymore.
that all year, or did you do that on the same month you had to do your special and everything else?
I did that on the same day. I recorded my special Friday and started writing this yesterday or
Right.
Friday and then finished it yesterday.
Well, if we conservatively
You're full of
say, 44 movies are an average of an hour and a half, 90 minutes each, which is way conservative. I'm sure there are more.
Yeah.
We watched 66 hours of films this year. Think of that. Just for the show.
Film set.
Yeah, just for
Not
the
even
show.
counting anything
Crazy.
else.
Yeah. And we've all seen plenty of other movies. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to know the slash played on any of this. This all sounds
This
bad.
is why my algorithm on Netflix is so bad.
Yeah.
Excluding Spy Game. Let's just exclude Spy Game for a moment.
Okay.
What was your favorite movie that we watched and sacked in 2024? Start with Scott. Scott
Oh,
Johnson was your
gosh.
favorite movie.
Well, now I
Can I answer for Scott? I can answer for Scott.
Do answer for me.
Baby Driver.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Actually.
Oh, good
Oh,
point.
No, you nailed it, and I'm glad you did that because I was really scrambling to remember everything again, even though you just said it all in a song. Yeah, I think that was it. I think that one surprised me the most. It's also the one I waited the longest to see. I think we knew we were watching something good because nobody was under illusions that this Edgar Wright film was going to be bad or anything, but. I came away from that enjoying it so much that I immediately turned around and Kim and I watched it again. And I think I've seen it 3 times now total since. I love that movie. So,
Can I
yeah.
answer for Dunaway and guess the Burbs?
Of course. I was about to say, why are you even asking? Next.
Of course.
But finally got my friends to watch my favorite movie of all time. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's
Dante.
true. Dante. Dunaway, guess for
That's what he gets for
Randy.
me because I don't think I can get. I don't think I know.
Omega Doom.
Spy Game because he just watched it this week.
Yeah, well, he had to exclude it, though, he said. Excluding Spy Game.
Oh,
No, I
exclude.
really
I'm
did.
sorry.
I would put that up in the top 5, though.
I
of the
would
ones
too.
saw this year.
I might put
It's
it
hard
in
for me not to
second
say
place.
Baby Driver as well because I loved that movie before, and that was one kind of like Dunaway. It's like I wanted all my friends to see Baby Driver.
Yeah, and that movie
that's
was
good.
so good. Gosh dang
That's
it.
good. It's how I felt about Payback for a long time.
Oh yeah,
It was just this thing that came along when I was, completely full of testosterone and young, and just like every clever line really hit me just right.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was actually a bit nervous when we sacked it because I was like, oh no, what if either I don't like it that much now, or like one of you guys just hates this movie. But for me, it holds up so well. It's such a it's just so fun for me.
Yeah, that was pretty good. There's a lot this year. I actually really liked this year.
Road to Perdition.
Oh, Road to Perdition is one of my
great.
favorite movies ever. So that's way up there for
I
sure.
think that's the one that has stuck with me the most. Like any year of film sack, you have movies that you've never seen before, and then you're like, I don't remember. we watched something called Super Fuzz or whatever.
I know.
I don't remember it.
Super Fuzz. I forgot, completely
Super
erased
Fuzzy on
Daughters of Satan from my mind.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Congratulations.
I erased that we just in August saw Transformers. That's not even in my memory. I don't remember doing that.
That's not either. Yeah.
I don't remember doing Transformers at all. In fact, when I saw it in Quicksack, I went, "Oh, did we watch the cartoon and I forgot?" No, we watched the shitty first live action one is what we did.
What I find really funny about the first time when it sticks with you is what sticks with you. Because I was at work about a month ago, and I was talking to several people, and none of them had seen the movie. And I've only seen it once now, and it was months and months ago. And I'm like, oh, you know that Tom Hanks movie where he's a gangster in the Quad Cities? I know Quad Cities, right? And then he heads into Illinois towards Chicago, and he's like fighting against a guy who was pretending to be a police photographer.
Yeah.
And they're all looking at me like, Tom Hanks was in a gangster movie? No, shut up.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, but what stuck with me was that sort of unique, there's some like unique things about it, you know? And I always wonder if that's the same for you guys. If you watch a movie on Film Sack for the first time, and then months later you're like remembering details.
Oh, for sure. Especially when it's we had a 2-week banger. I'd seen Silverado 400 times before, but I love seeing it again. We saw that in March, and the very next week we saw Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. That one stuck with me. That one I still think about.
Ghost Dog stuck with me too.
Yeah, that movie's something else, I thought. And it really washed away the bad taste of things like Hollywood Homicide and Elektra and
Yes.
all that.
For me, the 2-week
how much
banger
it damaged you.
Yeah.
this year, our 2-week banger for me was Mighty Ducks and Scarface back to back, and just I don't know. I was in a place where I hadn't seen those movies, and I don't think I'd ever seen Scarface, and a bunch of the I don't know. There's a bunch of like details that really stuck with me. Like people tried really hard when making those movies.
Well, it took us a year and a week to see Robert Redford movies between each other. So we saw almost a year ago, a little longer than a year ago. 3 days of the flight of 3 days of the flight of the Condors.
Right, Flight of the Condors. Yeah.
We saw that basically a year ago, and that felt like yesterday. So my timeline's all messed up. And hearing Brian's song, it was like, wait a minute, when did we? Because obviously they were out of order, but it just was throwing me. Like, feels like Reindeer Games happened a year ago. And that was what, 2 weeks ago or a week ago? Was it last week?
Yeah. It was, Reindeer Games was last week.
That was the last one we
One
watched.
game
I thought it was
after
weird. I was
another.
watching
Yeah.
games back to growing.
See, that's effed up in my head. That whole thing is
That'll
just
come up as an image. It won't even copy and paste in there. Bummer.
boo. Probably
I have the list, but it's not copying from numbers.
no worries.
That's how I had to do the song. I had pulled up the list of movies based on my songs, the Film Sack karaoke songs, and pasted them into a number spreadsheet, and then just made a long field to the right where I wrote the description in the format of da 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 da, whatever that is, 14 syllables, I think.
Sure.
And and then knew the ones that had to keep their final word. Owen was a mama's boy. She said he didn't have a friend. There was no way I was going to change that one. It had to end with friend. So
perfect.
I needed. So as I was doing these, I'm like, oh, this one I can end with something in the end. Great, cool. I'll pair that one up with Throw Mama from the Train.
Ooh, a little bit of behind the curtain here. I like this.
That's right. Teen Wolf, I knew it wanted to end with Boof.
Boof, right?
Of course you do. Yeah, always end with boof when you have a chance.
Always end with Boof.
That's great.
Cocaine, yeah. I couldn't do Tony was a Cuban gangster introduced us to his little friend because I already had Owen didn't have a friend.
Oh, right.
I had to go with cocaine.
I liked your cocaine one, though. It was good.
Yeah.
That was great. For those on the YouTube and you're like, what song? Go listen to the podcast. It's on there. All right. Real quick here, we'll let the fake Fletcher explain what movie we saw this week. And, we already said the words, Spy Game, but you'll find out again how this all worked out. Here you go.
This week on Film Sack, Spy Game. It's a tense espionage thriller starring Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. As CIA veteran Nathan Muir prepares for retirement, he learns his protégé, Tom Bishop, has been captured in China during an unauthorized mission. Facing agency indifference, Muir recounts their shared past while secretly devising a daring plan to rescue Bishop. The film explores loyalty, betrayal, and the personal toll of espionage through a blend of sharp dialogue and gripping action. We miss Tony Squad.
Wow.
It's a weird turn about halfway through.
Yeah, like the British accent, personally.
It sounded
slow
like
this down and explain it to you.
it's like Moira, what's her name from Schitt's Creek, just doing her weird fake accent. The movie is Spy Game. It's a movie I hadn't seen. I was very excited to see it because I have a Tony Scott thing where I'll see anything he ever made, even the stuff that people don't like as much. And I had never seen Spy Game. I keep confusing it with the Brad Pitt Harrison Ford thing called where is it?
Not a spy.
The Devil's Zone.
Spy.
The Devil's Zone.
I kept confusing it with the movie called Heist with Robert Redford that came out just a few years ago, and that's kind of what I was expecting this was going to be, but really, really enjoyed it.
It's great. It's freaking great.
Yeah.
It's in my top 3 or 4 of the year for sure. Probably maybe even my second favorite of the year that we've seen. And maybe I'm prone to these ones that I haven't seen yet that are genuinely good and then they just hit me or whatever. But I thought this was freaking fantastic. And it's everything I love about Tony Scott's movies, rest his soul. I wish he was still around doing stuff because he had of the Scott brothers, right? They kind of had this tag team going where Ridley Scott is all about, usually anyway, high-minded, either historical dramas or deep sci-fi or whatever. It's just a different vibe. And Tony was all like, yeah, what if I just blow shit up and do big, awesome camera shots? And, what if Top Gun didn't exist in this world? I can imagine a world with no Top Gun. You can't imagine it. He's just amazing. And I loved this. I thought this was freaking great top to bottom. I really have no
I now
complaints.
feel like Ridley Scott has these stories to tell and they get punctuated by action, whereas Tony Scott has style over substance. Tony Scott is like, yes, there is a story to tell, but I'm going to show you so much stylized cinematography, and I'm going to fit music to something in a way that it really takes you on a ride. And the substance of it is in the back seat. It's not, whenever you ask somebody what's your favorite Tony Scott film, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of the same 2 answers. You get Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and you get Top Gun. Mm-hmm. And those 2 movies are really more about
Man on Fire.
What you're seeing and feeling than the actual words coming out of their mouths.
I kind of agree, but I think it's a sliding scale because you talk about story taking a back seat, but that back seat is leather with heated seats. It's a good story. It's a quality back seat. Like, it's not garbage back seat where we're just shoving everything back there. It's a good story, but he does prioritize the cinematic experience of everything above that and still maintains a decent story. So it's relative, but I agree. And I think it works. Like, it's a really great way to tell a story, and it's what movies are kind of about in a lot of ways. Like, I can watch methodic storytelling at home, but when I'm in a movie theater or I got headphones on or I'm really into a thing, that's the other thing I want to say about this right out of the gate. This movie has some insane sound work. It's so good. It doesn't feel like it was made 25 years ago. And I know in 2001 we're good at this, but we've seen plenty of movies post 2000 that have had shitty sound work.
Can I give you one little thing that
so
didn't age
good
well for me?
What's that?
I got really tired watching this movie of every time we go to a place, I hear music from that place. It was just it was one time too many. At first I was like, oh, we must be in the Far East. And then it was like, oh, yeah. And then we late in the movie, we go to the Middle East, and I'm hearing Middle Eastern music. I'm like, no, it's too much.
Yeah, a lot of
dial it down. Just a lot
of globetrotting.
Yeah. At least when it was a war flashback, it wasn't.
The Vietnam music was not quite
close,
Vietnam music, but it was good.
It was close though. It was like they really did crank in the the CCR-esque music.
Ours also wasn't this set in this was set in the 90s. I have to assume it was set in the 90s because it's Vietnam.
In 91 and flashbacks to 81 and 71.
Okay, because they never really cleared that up. I wasn't sure on the timeline. Some of those monitors.
The hair is really the big thing that should be the.
It was very.
That's true. That's true. But
well, it opens with the current time is 91, and they set that clock for 24 hours, which I love those scenes where it's like, how much longer? Steel shot, black and white on Robert Redford,
8:45 p.m. a.m. whatever. Yeah, but I just saw so many CRTs that were not 91. And that annoyed me. Yeah. I kept seeing computers where I was just like, nah.
Yeah, it was 10 years later, right? It was
and it was the CIA, Scott.
Yeah, the CIA
they
have all the good stuff
from the future.
Yeah, they're currently looking at displays that are just on the air. It looks like in the ethereal displays. Yeah, no, I that's all fine though, because overall, I really liked it. I liked everything about it. I think the Robert Redford's just a freaking legend. And it's awesome to see him in here. But I also really like this era of Brad Pitt a lot. Yeah. It's just kind of he's probably in his 30s here. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be right because he's in his 60s now.
In 2001, just before 9/11, in 2000, let's say, did we think of Brad Pitt as the new Robert Redford at that time?
Well, where were we in his career? Let's see. He'd already worked with his brother on Thelma and Louise. That was much earlier, though. Let's see. I'm gonna
because nowadays it's passe. Like I start watching this movie and I'm like, oh right, Brad Pitt. He's the younger generation's Robert Redford. That's why they're together.
I mean,
they're
the two handsomest men in the history of Hollywood, probably. You could argue. You could make the argument. Although Paul Newman would like to have a word, but still.
Well, let's put it this way. I was watching it and I told Audra, who was going to watch it with me, I said, Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. It's going to be a smoke show. And she's like, oh, yeah, let's watch it. And then she's like, oh, I thought you meant Rob Lowe. And she was out.
That was the end of that?
Not Robert. No, it was just, yeah.
Not Robert Lowe.
It wasn't Robert Lowe.
Robert Lowe. I've never heard of him called Robert Lowe. Bob Lowe. Everyone want to call him Bob Lowe? That'd be fun.
Bob Lowe.
Bob Lowe.
But you know what I mean? Okay, so to answer your question, Randy, I'm looking at his early career. He did, a lot of stupid shit right up until, okay, here we go, 1990s when things started to happen. Really, his star-making moment is 91 with Thelma and Louise, 10 years prior to this. So then you get things like Cool World, Tales from the Crypt, forget that. River Runs Through It was a big one for him. California was a big one. True Romance, Interview with the Vampire. I think he's pretty well established by now because we've still got 7 Legends of the Fall, 12 Monkeys, Sleepers, 7 Years in Tibet, Meet Joe Black, Fight Club.
Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, Fight Club's in 99. Yeah, he's Snatch, he's there. He's good. He's the Brad Pitt. We're all on board.
Have we watched Cool World for this show, by the way?
No.
Feels like Cool World is a great fit.
We should.
If we did.
We should. Isn't that Bakshi, I think?
Ralph Bakshi's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It's like his final hurrah, really.
I just searched the word cool. And all I got was Heathers, which I think is funny. Have we watched Cool World? No, we've watched Heathers, though.
We've watched Heathers.
Why is that in there? Oh, it's in the description. It's something about cool kids. I see why it's in there. That's funny.
Of course.
But yeah, he's well established at this point. And I think that I think there's no questioning the longevity of his career and certainly where he's been and where he's at now. Like Brad Pitt's the deal, man. Like him or hate him or enjoy him or not.
Who would hate him?
There's no denying. Well, I don't think Angelina Jolie's very happy with him at the moment, but
I think even she's kind of like,
or Jennifer Aniston. I don't know. I mean, wasn't she trying to like not let her kids see him or something though? She was like all being weird about it. I don't know if she was being weird. Maybe it was all legit, but he's a good actor. He's strikingly handsome. He looks great in his older age now. He's just great. I like him. But Robert Redford, something about that dude walking in, just all class. Just old Hollywood meets new Hollywood. Just the guy never gets bad. I love him.
And it felt like the continuation of that, the Fly of the Condors. What the crap was the name of the movie we watched? Condor, Escape Man.
3 days of the Flight of the Intruder.
Yeah.
That's it. Nailed it. I kept getting confused. I'm like, is this his later story? It feels like the same story.
Yeah, it feels like a continuation of Sneakers is what it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love Sneakers so much.
He plays that part well.
He really does.
We keep bringing up Sneakers all the time, and we've never done Sneakers. We're so lame for not doing Sneakers.
What? Okay.
I thought we had, no?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, I will say this though. As much as I love this movie, there was a lot of things that I was like, first off, that's chewing gum, not bubble gum. No way did that guy blow bubble that big.
So you're like finding the details that kind of take you out of it.
Yeah, the little details that took me out. I'm like, how's it gonna get away? You can't just shitstorm.
Well, here's the thing, though. The movie is meant to lead you to believe that Brad Pitt makes a mistake by giving that guy gum, and it's all part of his plan. He wants to get caught and does.
I know what the movie wanted.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. What? He said you wanted to get caught.
He wanted to get caught because how is he going to get that girl out? At the end, his entire goal was not even about underused.
I thought her dirty feet was what was
that's the whole thing. Like, this movie has one of the best little payoffs ever, and I didn't actually follow it. And I'm sad because like after the movie was over, I was like, oh, her feet were the other feet on the stretcher.
Yes.
Oh.
He was trying to get out, right? But they didn't make it.
No.
Yeah.
What you are led to
rescued
believe
her.
is that his buddy who helps him snipe, played by Benedict Wong, underused in this movie. It's a very young actor though, at this point.
Who was his co-pilot who got away?
Yeah,
Right.
so he gets away. You think that was what was going on. That's who he's there to get out. That's what you're led to believe. That gum was on purpose. He knew he was going to get the shit kicked out of him, and he knew that was going to go on for a while.
I must have been watching a different movie because I thought he just got caught.
Nope.
And the other dirty feet.
Well, that's what you're supposed to think. That's what you're supposed to think until later. Yeah. And then later you find out, oh, this whole thing.
Well, what are you talking about? That's okay.
Because he loves the girl. He wants the girl out. He wants to save the girl.
I'm confused. I thought it was the dirty feet was the girl and they were trying to escape because the guy got out of the car he was just there always. He was always there. He was helping him, right?
He was.
I'm confused.
Maybe
I missed the story point.
I'm with Dunaway. That's how I read it as well.
Well, okay.
We just didn't reveal who it was until later because we hadn't got to that part of the story yet.
Right.
And so we just didn't show.
We hadn't even introduced her when we saw the dirty feet. Like she hadn't even been introduced in flashbacks. But
I thought he wanted to be caught so that the rest of this thing would play out and her getting out. Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe this movie's obtuse.
No, he was trying to get her out from the get-go, and she was the
he did want to get electrocuted. He wanted
he did that on purpose.
He wanted to get electrocuted. Yeah.
How does that work too? It's like
short out. Just humans short out the.
And they know exactly how long it's going to take, and then when they give him a shot, his color starts coming back.
Well, he ate a thing. Remember that he ate a thing right before he took the shock, and I'm going to assume that MacGuffin is like, oh well, if you eat this, it does something to your heart. So when you're electrocuted, it's a long stretch. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's a stretch.
There's a motif here, and I don't want to call it a trope because it's more than that.
I don't have a motif clip. I wish I did.
Right, I know. But the overall movie is a thing where you take a grizzled veteran and you sit him down with a bunch of other guys, and they tell you the whole story, and then you find out as they go what the details that matter really were. Mm-hmm. And it's like the first season of True Detective comes to mind. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You're interviewing someone after all the events.
Oh, right. Yeah. And World War Z, the book, a little bit like that.
Yeah. And it's a great motif for this kind of thing. But the problem is it opens up your interpretation to that person's memories. And it's fine if you just shut off your brain and listen and go along with whatever they're saying. But if you don't, if you stop along the way and go, wait a minute, if he could order this rescue at any time, why did he wait? Like it's on a 24-hour clock. Why did he wait until hour 20 or hour 22? Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, you don't want to do that. Don't activate that part of your brain.
It's a little it's a little weavy in a way that is, if you think too hard, you're going to get caught up in some webs, and maybe that's part of the point. Like the craziest piece of trivia I found out here is that Brad Pitt turned down Jason Bourne. He was supposed to be Jason Bourne. He turned down that shit for this, which means he turned down a franchise. I don't know if anyone knew it was a franchise at the time, but he turned down one of the most lucrative franchises you can think of in the aughts to do this thing. And I kind of scratched my head wondering why, because I think both could have both are kind of this, right? They're both kind of this,
right? But both of them are based on a series of books. This could have easily turned into a franchise thing as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now, is this a popular series? I didn't know that.
I was trying to figure that part out because that's kind of vague as well. Like part of the story was written, but then they put it in the screenplay, and then they went back and actually wrote the book later on or something.
Was that
there's so many weeby webby thingies that I just
weeby.
I was just like
weeby.
I mean, you got a couple of interesting writers on this thing. You have David Arata, who we all know from lots of stuff, in particular Children of Men, one of the great movies ever. Let's see what else. That's kind of the big one.
You're right. Yeah, Dunaway, you're right. So the co-screenwriter of this released a trilogy of novels featuring characters from this movie in 2022. So yeah, 21 years after this movie. So it wasn't. I take that back. Was not a franchise opportunity.
But the story was already written. They just they hadn't.
Yeah, Michael Frost Beckner.
That Beckner guy. That guy's the most author-looking photo I've ever seen in IMDb.
Yeah, I'm the writer. Shit.
Yeah, but he also wrote Cutthroat Island. So take that for whatever you want to take that for. Oh, he wrote Sniper. All the Sniper movies. Let's see. Cutthroat Island, Prince Valiant, Spy Game, The Agency. These must all be based on Oh yeah, the Sniper's created based on stuff he created. So yeah, interesting. Speaking of IMDb, can I give I need to get a sound clip for this, but IMDb photo of the week, easily Larry Bergman.
Yes.
Look at that dude. It's drowning in a captain's hat. Don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's up.
No kidding.
This is a guy that sounds like 3 or 4. If you close your eyes, you hear about 3 other character actors in your head. And then you open it and you realize it's none of them, but he's the dude. He's kind of the CIA in between guy who's friendly with Nathan, but not, he's curious.
I love all of their little relationships inside the building in Langley. They all have like, everybody's got a ton of history and they have to act in ways that demonstrate it. And I loved every minute. They're all, it's this funny. Now here's a trope.
Oh, hold on now.
Here's a trope for you. We got something for that.
I was ill prepared.
The trope goes,
there you go.
The trope goes, we're going to train you your whole life to do spy shit and then get mad at you when you come home and do spy shit. It's so fun how everybody's mad at everybody else for just doing what they've been trained to do, only doing it right down the hall instead of off in some foreign country. I just love that. And they all did a great job. Every person is asked to stare at every other person and be outraged. It's awesome.
Did you guys ever...
Tony Scott.
Oh, Tony Scott does a really good job of that. He's great at like these group...
He's good at like getting the characters where they need to be.
Yeah. I agree.
He just lets people do their thing.
Stannis Baratheon's character, what's his real name? I can't think of his real name. Hold on, I'll find it. That is played by what's name is Stephen Dillian. I love him. He eats up scenery. I love him in everything I've ever seen him in. Here's the problem though. He's supposed to be American. Atrocious at getting that American accent. Just atrocious.
Stephen Delane. This is our first time seeing
Delane. Delane, you're right.
People. There's a bunch of people in there. You just mentioned Larry Bragman, the first time we were seeing him.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did all?
I don't
these
know.
people...
And instantly, he looked unrecognizable here, and also I was like, I know that guy. But who is that?
Oh, I knew. Yeah, right away. I knew him from Game of Thrones. But beyond that, it's like there's some. I think he's in a couple of good Guy Ritchie movies. Some other stuff like that. He's great. He's an awesome actor, but in this, he's such a freaking weenie. Oh my God.
I know. All he was the guy who said, start recording. Now stop recording. All right. Now. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just always just getting the raw end of the stick. And I kept thinking he was going to be bad. I kept thinking it was going to be, he's in on the whole, like it felt like that trope was creeping up on me and it never happened. So that's good. He's just kind of lame.
I was amused that we got the only one woman in the world trope, and it was Muir's secretary.
Yeah.
Oh, Gladys is great. I love her character. I love her.
I thought that was I thought it was C.H. Pounder at first.
A little bit, yeah, very, very C.H. Pounder. I mean, don't forget, Brad Pitt's girlfriend.
She was a lady.
There's two women in the world, Hadley.
In the past, and also,
gotcha. Okay.
Also, you find out at the very end of the movie that she's still around. But yeah, there's at any given time in this movie, there's only one woman in the world.
Gladys and you've got Hadley.
Yeah.
Gladys Marianne Jean Baptiste. She has really, like in the last 10 years or so, she keeps showing up as like
she's
the
awesome.
Director of different things, and she just always plays it so well. When I heard her voice, I was like, before I even saw her face, I was like, oh, I know that voice.
No, she'd be a perfect what's her name? Can't think of the character now in Suicide Squad.
That'd be nice. Yeah, nice swap out.
Yeah, who we have now is great, but if
Alfred Woodard,
they got the same vibe though.
But a Heller, her as Heller would be great.
Yeah, it should be freaking awesome. She was great. There are a lot of that going on. Here's my biggest beef, though. There's a trope that they dropped very quickly. Here, I'll play the thing. And that is, and you guys are, somebody, I think it was Randy, referred to it earlier. It jumps around in time, right? You're doing the whole first season of True Detective kind of thing.
Beach. Yeah, okay.
or whatever, where you're going back in time. So the first time back in time, they do this thing where everything's sepia toned in a different color because it's him recollecting something.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You see that in a lot of stuff. Here's how do we know we're looking at the past? Because the camera's being filmed different.
Camera changes, hair changes, and music, and a music cue.
Yeah, and they do that with that. And then the rest of the movie, they drop that entirely. They don't, even when it's still showing the Vietnam era stuff, they just stop doing it.
Oh, I felt like it was very consistently a cinematographic choice. The cinematographer, the director, the editor are all making the choice from beginning to end to only show you China at night and to only show you the Middle East in a certain filter that completely loses the color blue.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But the Vietnam thing felt like they were trying to give me a filter that said it's the 60s, baby, or 71, or
yes,
you know what I mean?
Very much.
And then, but then they showed other stuff from that era, from that same time, in not that film style. And I don't understand why they dropped it. I thought it was weird.
Where it really stuck out to me was the early in the movie, Robert Redford is coming to work on his last day and he's driving into CIA headquarters and everything was so freaking washed out. And I was like, what is this? Are we in the Matrix? Like I couldn't, that was that level of, and I realized it's the same time frame as the Matrix, etc. It was just too much.
I don't want to skip Robert Redford tiny car. Is he always in a tiny car in every movie I've seen him in? Is that just my imagination? Is it?
He was almost in the Italian Job because he really liked the cars in that one too.
I don't know. Actually, you're making a really interesting point. I don't know if I've ever seen him in a large car. I think you're right.
No, he's not. He's no Matthew McConaughey Lincoln. Right? He's the tiny car.
He wants a tiny.
He wants a tiny car and a horse. There's no in between.
It will make me look bigger.
Or a boat that he can't fix.
Oh, I love that movie so much. Gosh dang it!
Too.
I did go back to make sure it was the same car. At the beginning and the end, because wouldn't it have been so amazing if he'd shown up in like a 68 Porsche 912? That's what that was, a 68 Porsche 912, and then left in like a 89 Porsche 911, they didn't know that he had a different car, so they were going to try to follow him in the wrong car.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what else is great? Every Asian actor you've ever seen ever is in the first 10 minutes of this movie. And that's great. Or they're ones that are all about to have a career, right? You got Benedict Wong, you got the guy he was in one of the X-Men movies. He was in Lost.
Can't
think of his name. What's wrong with me?
He's not listed high in the credits.
No, but he's in there.
But we did get a lot of Michael Paul Chan making snarky remarks.
Yeah, Michael Paul Chan's another. He's great. I freaking love that guy.
Goonies.
And then, like we mentioned, Benedict Wong in a very small role, but it's great to see him because he's about to have his day, right? So you got literally like all of this. I guess Brad Pitt's the only non-MCU actor in here. But you got
pretty much, yeah.
You got Robert Redford, he's MCU for sure.
Yeah.
You got like we mentioned, Benedict Wong, and the little guy I think you can count from X-Men, even though it's not MCU, but I still count it. It's all bought by the same people now.
I'll allow it.
It's a lot. It's a lot of MCU connections. Then you got this
Ken Leung. There we go. Geez, could not get his name. Ken Leung.
There he is. He's great. That guy's great.
He is great.
If you've seen Industry at all, which is kind of a hard watch, but if you do watch it, he eats up this freaking scenery in that movie or that show on HBO. He's very good. I was going to play a thing that I'm going to play early. This dude in England, his friend who he keeps relying on, this is what he sounds like right here. I'll just play him.
I'll give you 25 minutes before I transmit. If you want to see the cable before they do, you'd better hustle.
All right, so I hear this guy's voice and I see his eyebrows and I immediately know who it is, and I'll play that clip now.
We reach back to hallowed antiquity to bring you a recreation of the second fall of mighty Carthage.
He's that wackadoo announcer guy from Gladiator. That's the guy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The eyebrows were the giveaway for me because I just remember those.
Yeah.
These things go like 6 inches each direction. Right. Anyway, fun little deep dive on that guy.
That's terrific.
He's awesome. Here's a question for you. Is it a Christmas movie because there's a Christmas scene? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, not by my rules, but All
right. But my overall observation is really holding up. They couldn't have a quick scene in late December without the music really driving it home for you. That we had to get that music with the sleigh bells. It had to be.
Right.
Weather outside. Man, it's like the same one they use in all the other movies. It seems like the popular one. I also have this problem with movies that I think you say his name, Omid Djalili, shows up in. Because Omid Djalili is a Middle Eastern actor who is in everything you've ever seen, it feels like. He's just in tons of stuff, but most of it is comedic. Most of the time, he's a goofball, and he's somebody's sidekick or something. So when he shows up and it's a serious role, he was one of the contacts that he had there in, where were they, Syria or whatever that was? I can't remember now. He's a serious character. I can't be doing that. You can't be putting a comedic guy in there. It's throwing me off.
Oh, it's throwing me off, man.
Yeah.
Wow. His IMDb photo is a winner as well, man. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And once again, Omid Djalili was in Gladiator. He was,
yes.
Yeah. He was in The Mummy. He was in a bunch of stuff, and he's always a little bit goofy in those things.
Yeah. It looks like he might even do, like, one of his photos looks like he's doing stand-up. So
he does. He's a stand-up comedian. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know. It's hard for me. It's like when you put, I don't know, you can do this. You take somebody like, can't think of his name all of a sudden, played Hans Gruber. What's wrong with me?
Alan Rickman.
Take Alan Rickman and you put him in a comedic role and it works. And you're like, wow, I didn't think he could do that. Or his stern acting could be funny in something like Galaxy Quest or whatever. So you can get away with it, but this dude just threw me.
All right, one more thing about Omid Djalili. We just named The Mummy and Spy Game. Give me one of the other two movies that we've sacked that he's been in.
Oh my gosh!
I can't play this game because I have his cast or his filmography up.
I'm gonna guess.
Although I haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna guess.
He's working. They got a good agent.
He really does.
Was he in Stargate? The movie Stargate?
He was not, but that's a great guess.
Okay.
You're guessing like location.
Yeah,
right?
Location, and you'd need a guy on the ground there. He's always the guy on the ground. You mentioned Gladiator, although we haven't done Gladiator, have we? I don't think we have.
We have not. I've just seen it 10 times.
You already said Mummy. Did we do Mummy? I don't think we did the Mummy, or did we?
We did.
Okay.
Yes. So Sky Game and the Mummy are two of them. We also sacked Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Omid Djalili was in that.
Oh, wow.
And The World Is Not Enough. Do you remember The World Is Not Enough?
I'll bet he was goofy. in it. That's what I'm saying. Like he was probably somebody James had to work with on the ground in some, Middle Eastern country, and he was like, James, hee. You know what I mean? Like that kind of guy. He's like the dude from Indiana Jones. It's the John Rhys Davies thing.
Sala.
Yeah, he's the Sala of everything he's ever in. And in this one, he was just a little too serious for me. That's all. I like him though. He's pretty cool. Also, I like a movie that can do these flashbacks without them being feeling forced. While I agree with Randy's point that sometimes point of view gets skewed because he wouldn't have memories to tell that room of things he didn't witness.
Right.
So you have to be careful there. So I'm really glad you brought that up because it's hard to do that. And I think this movie has a few goofs, but for the most part, that felt all right to me. And it can be done very poorly in some movies and I don't like it. So I liked it here. I thought it was good.
I did find I felt uncomfortable a couple of times. I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but there's definitely a feeling of like are we colonizers? Because it felt like, here we are, we're showing up and all the kids are running in the town are running towards us and they're all happy and they're screaming whatever foreign language they're supposed to be screaming. And also the scene when when Brad Pitt in the taxi, by the way, that whole scene cracked me up. Trying to get the doctor to the location was hilarious when he was the taxi driver essentially, and he runs over the fish cart. And all of the merchants there lose their shit. Yeah, that's a great.
Well, it's their fish
action in this movie.
Yeah, it's their fish, man. Here's the thing, though. I wrote it down in my notes. Dunaway. That whole scene could have had the Benny Hill music, and it would have worked.
Yeah, it was great. And then them trying to show up the doctor all sweating and stuff, and he's got to come around the corner and act all normal. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good in there. get her taken
I
care of.
I just want to answer Brian Dunaway's question. Yes, we are the colonizers. Yes, this movie was trying to make that point, but it was trying to get right up to the line on it. This movie was constantly like winking at you and saying, "But they have good intentions."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
we used
the
to
CIA.
spot the good guys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole conversation with Redford and the other dude who has the funny IMDb photo, they have a little conversation that leads to this. Like, didn't this used to have a reason? Didn't this mean something at one point, or didn't we have? Weren't we up to something good or whatever? It's about as close as they get to really addressing overreach by government and things like that.
And Tony Scott talks about this a lot in a lot of things, and so it's
it was a common theme for him for sure. Yeah.
They literally put a burned flag on the wall of the main character. Like his totem is a burned flag. Like you're supposed to think about that and take a lot of meaning from that.
You know what's funny though? I didn't notice it until after his office got ransacked, and for a hot second I thought they set it on fire when they were in there digging through stuff. I went, wait a minute.
Turn over that couch, burn that flag.
Yeah, I'm like, it's one thing to dig through all your boxes and throw shit everywhere. It's another just to light your flag on fire. And then I realized, no, that's like that's some relic from some war, and then it occurred to me what was going on. But yeah, that was pretty funny. It just had if you weren't really paying attention, you would think that those goons went in there and lit everything on fire.
Yeah. That flag, by the way, had 48 stars. Wanted to point that out.
Old school flag. Okay.
A thing that I managed to do while watching the movie was count the stars on the flag. So it's pre-1959.
Interesting. Wow.
So when was
Robert when he started?
Hates Alaska and Hawaii. I get it. Right. Okay.
I thought Alaska was
when he started.
I thought Alaska was a lot earlier than that. I guess that's right. There's a lot of shit that happened in the 50s that everyone thinks has been here since the 1800s. Like In God We Trust on the money. That happened in the freaking 50s. Yeah. The Pledge of Allegiance under God part, 50s. Mm-hmm. But everybody goes, oh, no, that's been there forever. The Founding Fathers would be offended if you took it out. It's like, no, the 50s would be offended. Yeah. Freaking Father Knows Best and Leave It to Beaver would be offended. Give me a break. Lame.
So was we supposed to think that Robert Redford's character had a drinking problem? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
The flask and the big bottle of booze and him talking about how old the scotch he has to drink is.
He was always a little lit the whole time. You could just imagine.
I got a question.
Robert Redford himself just smells like whiskey all the time.
Yeah, but a good aged.
But a good fine whiskey and aftershave.
Yeah, for sure. And a good wood fire,
Yeah.
So, okay, I got a question that just left me flummoxed, and maybe I'm stupid, but they talked about how he had 4 fake wives. They were all contacts, just ways to help his story. Did he ever have an actual wife in the end?
I think you're supposed to decide for yourself.
One.
Okay.
Yeah, they even confirmed the guy says, he was only married once.
And
I think he had one wife. She left him because he's pretty much flatly stated that never give your money away to anybody.
Well, yeah, but he's also, I think, he's so spied up that I think everyday life would be like, honey, where's the shampoo?
Try to get away with some you try to get away with some shit, and you'd accidentally leave, some important information on the front of your dossier.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, honey, where's the shampoo? I know where it went. I saw the reflection of when it fell down into the tub on the thing. You know what I mean? Like it'd drive you shit faced. You'd want to start drinking out of your flask is what you'd want to do.
You're planning a surprise party for me. I know because I saw the this, and I was in the room when we were talking to somebody, and I saw the way they looked over, and the only way they look over is if there was a surprise party being planned. Yeah. I know you're getting me a tie.
Yeah. And, where's my special breakfast bowl no one else is allowed to touch? Well, let me tell you. Here's how well went.
Again, I really strongly suggest that you don't think too far into it. Because
absolutely.
As everybody in the building is realizing that he's not actually married and the wife was invented, you start realizing, well, he had to tell his secretary that so that she could play the part. And that means that she could have told somebody else. And just don't think about it.
Yeah.
The character himself is everybody's an asset. I mean, he's a manipulator. He manipulates everybody.
Right up until the last day, in which case he's not willing to burn his best friend Brad Pitt. He's willing to do anything to get his best friend Brad Pitt out.
Can a CIA guy who is currently being shut down by the rest of the CIA call a general on the phone and say, "Go ahead with operation, get him out"? You know,
he does it from another guy's phone, and he signs the order fraudulently from coming from the director.
I gotta be honest. That felt like a lot of unnecessary. I mean, as long as you get it close, it's good. No one's going to question it. No one looks at a signature and goes, "Oh no."
Well, in the CIA,
it made for a great reveal when he made two of them. He made a fraudulent order that he needed carried out, and a fraudulent order that he wanted them to find, and that was the one that they found. And then he's got to go, "Sorry, I was looking at the Bahamas."
When I watched him spend 5 minutes of a 2-hour movie going through the forgery process, I was like, "There's a lot of paperwork in this movie. I should think about that."
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Oh, there was so much paper pushing.
Yeah,
in Spy Game. Yeah, I guess 91. You know, it's what you did.
That was the name of the game.
We hadn't transitioned fully to more digital world. Sure, exactly. In the Game of Spies, they could have called this movie Game of Spies. It might have been
Game of Spies. Yeah.
It might have been a better name. I'm just saying. Spy Game is a little. I don't know.
They did say the name of the movie one time, right? Too, didn't he say a Spy Game?
No, he said it's this. This is the game. They kept talking about how this is the game. Yes, it is a game.
They said something Spy Game, and because I again looked over at Tina. And, oh no, I take that back. That was a different movie. There was another movie that we saw this weekend where I leaned over to her and I said, "They said the name of the movie."
Yeah, no, this one I was waiting for it. I never heard it, but I heard
they didn't.
I heard game a lot, but.
Yeah, they've said game a whole bunch.
Yeah, they kept saying game. So if this movie was called Game, we're on. We're in.
Yeah, game.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah. Also, I got a question about them puke pills. Also, it's the thing. I'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and say
gross.
It grossed me out. That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
even though I know it's in effect, even though I know it's a mouthful of soup, whatever, it's disgusting to me that you.
That's not how pills work either. I mean, it's a capsule, but I mean, you don't just like shake it around in your face.
It was awful quick, right? Like very quick.
Yeah.
And couldn't you just finger your throat and get that done?
I mean,
could you, Scott? I want to know right now. Could you gag yourself to puke? Right now?
Could, but I would really resist it. If my life was in danger and I was trying to save the idiot German guy, I think I would. I mean, I could in that scenario, but in right now, if you said, "Hey, Scott, I'll give you $400 if you can just."
Yeah, I'd have to have a very good reason, but I think I could do it as well.
Somewhere in my life, I used to have a gag reflex, but apparently lost it because I know like a couple of years ago, I got so nauseous and I was like, if I could just throw up, and I stick my finger in the back of my throat and I'm like, nothing. And I'm like, how far can I go down? Oh my God, where's my gag reflex?
Yeah, how far can you go?
God, what'd I do?
Did you learn how far you can go? How far can you go?
All the way to the end of my index finger, apparently, so I could do some sword swallowing.
You touch your heart?
I don't know.
You poked your left ventricle in your heart or something?
It was something down there was vibrating. I don't know what it was.
You are the opposite of me. I'm telling you, I can vomit. I can gag myself just brushing my teeth. It's right there. That reflex is really close.
I definitely don't have it. I mean, I haven't puked in 20 years, so I don't know.
Nothing will make you gag faster than they have to take some of those molds. Remember the gel molds you take your teeth? Oh my God, that's like in the back of your throat.
Oh, I used to hate those. Now they don't do that anymore. They paint it on now, right? Like they tell you it's a nice flavor still, and it's always bad. It always tastes like.
Oh yeah. This one's minty. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I just want to name the trope, by the way, because it's a fun one. It's called the vomit indiscretion shot.
Oh, of course, this has a name. That's amazing. Yeah.
The vomit indiscretion shot. Why does the filmmaker decide to show you this? They could have implied it. All they have to do is imply it. You don't have to show it.
I will tell you, I have a new leader for the most explicit vomit scene I've seen in movie history. And it used to be, I think I used to give it to
and you don't count stuff like Monty Python's The Meaning of Life or Stand By Me, the fake joke vomit.
Yeah, joke vomit scenes, those are no big deal. But this ones where it's just like, oh my gosh, are they okay? Like that kind of thing. Alien Romulus has a barf scene that is really spectacular.
I thought you were going to say The Rock. Do you remember in The Rock?
I don't remember anyone puking in The Rock.
Yeah.
Why don't I remember that? Womack, I knew it was you, Womack. I'm trying to get I'm getting in the moment.
His name's Stanley Goodspeed, and he is told what he's about to have to deal with, and he goes to the bathroom,
Oh yeah, that's a good one. But that's all noise and no splatter.
No.
The one in Romulus is really, really something. And if you don't remember it, next time you see Romulus, you'll remember this because it's just like, oh shit, that's a gnarly barf. Yeah. Anyway,
I still am a little appalled at the puking scene in Apollo 13. And I know if you're gonna have a puke moment in a movie, it needs to be in a movie about astronauts, right?
Oh, but you got the helmet on, and it's just like,
oh god,
and you're all claustrophobic, and you're in space. Oh shit,
puke tube,
and you're Hudson. You're all these things. You're all these things at once. Of course, you'll vomit. All right. Where the hell else are we? Oh, I'm going to say Chick in the Bucket is the secretary. I'll make this argument real quick here. I think that
grab a bucket.
I think
she
that
says something.
There's no finality though to her. I mean, she basically does what he needs to have done, and then she just disappears. And she was so crucial to everything right up to that point. I just needed some kind of wink and a nod or something. And there was nothing.
She needed a bigger goodbye, but yeah, she does exit through a voice over thing. I think the Chick in the Bucket is those dirty feet because I need to see them show her dirty feet and then her face so I can go connection. All right, perfect.
It's the birthday flask. The birthday flask is set up to have purpose. It's
out,
beautiful, etc. And then it's just like, okay, I guess it was a gift. We got this beautiful shot of a gift, and it never became anything.
Do you need him to take it like near the end, like take it out, take a swig, and then like light a lighter and blow a big old ball of flames, and then leave and just run like a magic trick or something? Is that what you would think?
Right? Yes, he could have poured. He could have poured an accelerant out of it into his own car.
It's a distraction. Yeah, a distraction.
And then burned his car down, and then escaped from the CIA entirely, and lived the rest of his life in the Bahamas.
Dude, he's not going to Bahamas. There's no way they're letting that shit fly.
That's true. He's going to the South Pacific or something.
I mean, his face was pretty banged up. It reminded me of Fight Club.
You talking about Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt when he got the crap kicked out of him.
Okay. I want to talk about this. Does anybody else believe that there is a makeup artist who just was thrilled when told, you're going to make the most beautiful man in the world look the worst he will ever look in his life?
Yeah.
Just think about that. What a moment.
It's also really, really, I think that's hard to do without it looking bad. I think they did a really good job. He was swollen.
He looked puffy in the right ways. Yeah. I bet he wasn't chewing no gum that week.
No.
Well, it's funny because that is a Brad Pitt thing, right? You like always see him eating in the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And no eating in this movie.
Not even chewing the gum he brought.
Not even chewing the gum, right? Especially for a movie where he's saved by dinner out.
Yeah.
You don't see him eating.
Dinner out. Yeah.
I forgot to mention this. This is a completely unrelated thing, but because you guys brought it up, Brian Ibbett, you and your phobia thing.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people share it. I saw a movie that I have already told you I saw, but I didn't warn you that the substance has easily the most disgusting form of that I've ever seen in my life, and you are in for something there. I'm just warning you. I'm letting you know.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, because I forgot to do it the other day, and I was so interested in all the other gross things in it that I forgot to say, oh yeah, and there's this thing. So I'm just saying, when you see Dennis Quaid doing a thing, just let me know how you feel later. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Great. Thanks. Thanks for the warning.
You bet. Yeah. That's what friends are for. We're supposed to all help each other out, you know? Tony Scott dedicated this film to his mother at the end. She had just passed away. His brother Ridley Scott did the same thing with Black Hawk Down the very next year. Black Hawk Down came out and he did the same thing there. So that was cool. Must be cool being these high-powered director brothers, you know, at the time, like just knocking out hits and everyone respects.
I got confused. I've gotten confused. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I just wondered if you ever got the feeling at the time that they were close. Like I always felt like one was in London, one was in LA.
I didn't feel like they
doing
would
their
get
thing.
together.
I
They would
mean,
get together at family stuff, but I
Yeah,
think that
things
was mostly
there'd be-
because the family was mom was making
Scott's
them do it.
gotten me into this habit where I think about Thanksgiving. Like, picture all the Baldwin brothers coming for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, only a couple of them are bringing a bottle of wine. You know which one's
I
that?
feel like the Scott's moms. I feel like she was the one that was holding them together.
Yeah.
With Randy.
Maybe the Scott. I mean, remember they shared a production company. Scott Free Productions is not just one of them; it's both of them. And I think
That's because mom told him to.
I think he was pretty.
Share your company with your brother.
Come on, share your company with.
If I remember right, Ridley was really upset about the death of Tony. So my guess is
absolutely.
they're close, but also that world is so it's not your typical. How can it be typical?
The real story here is we don't know. But I will tell you this: I've been watching Barry all weekend.
Barry
on Max,
Barry.
where he's the killer, and so and I keep getting the scenes from the snipers scenes in this movie confused with shit I saw in there. So
that's a
warning.
That happens to me too. If I'm watching something else even remotely close to the thing we just saw for Film Sack, I mix them up.
Yeah,
I can't help it.
Because I mean that sniper scene where he's got to stand his ground and wait for that helicopter. It keeps coming in. That was
great.
Some pretty cool shit.
That was great. I thought that was awesome. I couldn't tell if the helicopter was doing a thing that they do, if that was on purpose in case there are snipers. Create some cover, the wind's going to change trajectories, and so your blades are going to change that, and you're just is that a tactic? I don't know why they were in the air in the first place.
I was curious because I had a Scott moment during that sniper scene because they had just left the camp, and they had specifically said that his sniper buddy who's calling out everything was separated from everybody else because of the smelly food he had. And so I was like, oh, he's got that smelly breath, and he's sitting like 2 inches away from Brad Pitt. And
well,
that's the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing. Not in the right direction.
In Vietnam time, everyone's calling it "quote unquote" gook food, and
that was fun.
Those guys are dicks because you know what's great? That food. It's so good, and everyone's got a million restaurants now. All white people love pho now, like it's the greatest thing ever. It's like, where were you in '71? Gook food. So lame. So if I was Brad Pitt, I'd be going, what you got over here? On banh mi.
Could you say that again?
Yeah, could you say that again? Do you have a banh mi for lunch? That's fantastic. Yum, 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 yum.
But I just want to make sure that I understand the point of that is that these weirdo snipers eat the local food so they smell like locals, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only point.
Yeah, I guess. But
they're just making the point that he is so committed to his craft that he's eating the local food so that his smell doesn't give him away.
But all I'm saying is the sergeant could have said it's the local food instead of saying. In fact, he said both. He says he's over there making his local food, and then he pauses and says, gook food. It's like, oh, we know, you racist piece of shit.
But that was to make us hate him a little bit, right? Just a little bit of.
Yeah, but then we never saw him again. That guy disappeared. Never dealt with him again. What a jerk. Gook food. Yeah. Probably immediately went to like Panda Express after shooting that scene.
I love that you think the actors are
but he's like the actors don't right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Got to separate the art from the artist in this case. I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Did you have a Seinfeld moment when they kept talking about Cathcart? Wasn't that like Cathcart? Is that not right?
Cartwright.
Cartwright.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong. Yeah.
Cartwright.
Oh, well.
Cartwright.
Cathcart.
I say, he say curse word. I hang up.
Wrong.
I love that scene. I could have used a little Hong, James Hong.
Yeah, James Hong. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to have a comedic actor in this thing, let's
have him be your contact on the ground in China. Do that.
Right.
But speaking of which, Suzhou prison is situated in the Jiangsu province of China, but the actors speak Cantonese that is used in South China, including Hong Kong and Macau, so it was kind of inaccurate. Everybody yelling and talking in the inoculation room or whatever, that was just the wrong dialect for the area they were in. So I don't know if I'd call it a goof, but who the hell would know,
Right.
Yeah.
Chinese people would know, I suppose, but we wouldn't know. Also, the pack of cigarettes that Robert Redford had uses as a distraction. They're Morley brand, and they are the same fictional brand used in, yes, you heard it right, the 1993 series The X-Files by the infamous character known as the cigarette smoking
I
man.
did not know that until I saw the trivia about it. It's hilarious.
I didn't know that at all.
Of all the things to reuse,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's freaking great.
Just
I thought.
sitting around the stage somewhere. We need a pack of cigarettes. 2001. Who has cigarettes? Nobody. Go hit the
Well,
I mean, I guess the prop closet, right, or the prop not closet, but prop. The warehouse full of props. I know it's.
I love that the whole movie's only got a closet.
Right, it's just like a pantry size thing where you've got like 8 props.
Yeah, it's the 20s. We're making silent movies. There's a prop closet. Sure.
My niece Amanda actually worked at one in Hollywood. Worked at a prop warehouse where
nice.
people would come and
Ooh, how tempting was that to like snag something cool?
I know. It's like, oh my God, why didn't we ever go out to, or why didn't you tell me you were doing this when we did all those visits to California for BlizzCon? I would have loved to just come there. And we kept my hands in my pockets. I would have been fine with that, but I wouldn't mind seeing the whole thing.
I wouldn't have walked out with Deckard's gun from Blade Runner.
With an Apollo candy bar or
or any of that stuff. A freaking flux capacitor in my back pocket, whatever I need.
Right.
It says that where'd it go here? I lost it. So Tony Scott said, or he had asked for more money. They had already spent way too much, and he was like, I need more money for this scene in Berlin. He wanted to do that rooftop thing. That fight where Brad Pitt throws a chair over there and probably killed the guy.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. There's no mention of like where that chair lands.
Yeah, you know what? The chair is the chick in the bucket, I think.
The chair is the chair.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, in order to rent a helicopter for that scene, and they refused to pay for it. He thought it was so important, he just rented it himself with his own money. He's like, here we go. Let's get it in there. Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, and I think it was worth it. That was an amazing.
Oh, for sure. Just the panning around that.
I mean, that's the money shot, right? That's that's in the trailer, right? It's
And I don't want to make it sound too magnanimous. I don't know what a helicopter costs to rent. Probably $1,000 or something. It's not that big a deal, as far as I know. I don't actually know.
But it makes a great story, right? Tony Scott, I had to pay for it.
I paid for it. I have a voice like this. I'm from the UK, but I speak like this.
Anyone figure out how they blew up a building in Beirut? Because I saw a building get blown up and fall down in Beirut. I saw it. That was so real. I can't explain it. It was amazing.
Yeah. I thought that was great, but I also had a lot of questions. I assume that the point was the doctor died because he went into the building that then got leveled. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. It's like this whole thing was for naught. It's sad that he shouldn't have died because that's sad in the first place. But I also don't think that truck was as loaded with the C4 or whatever the hell they called it as it looked. I don't know. I have questions about that whole scene, but it was also beautifully shot and really kind of impactful and stuff and
powerful.
Yeah. So it was a mixed bag. I'll say that. Like nuts.
Amazing that 20 years later in the actual Beirut, there was a massive explosion at a wharf.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help thinking of that. How this was kind of similar or predictive. I don't know.
Yeah, predictive is the right word. I think there've been things like that. Like I guess there was never a movie where the Twin Towers got hit, but there was like a rap album or something with a plane slamming into it. Do you guys remember that? It's like a 90s.
Yeah, there's the It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM was kind of looked at as a predictive thing too, because there's a few things in there.
Let's see if
they talk about don't get caught in foreign towers, blah, blah, blah.
Here it is. It's a band. It's called Party Music by the Coup. Let's see if I can find the image. Because I want to see if it's all that. Oh, geez.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, it is exactly as bad as you think.
Sounds like it's going to be pretty obvious when you show it.
Yeah. So they changed it later because of it. But this was 90s when they did this, and here it is. Hold on. Why can't I find Discord? There we go. All right, check this out. This is wild. It's the one on the left.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Yeah. So they've got full-on photoshopped explosion on the Twin Towers up there as part of their album. Years and years and years before. I'm not saying the terrorists saw this and went, you know what? We could do
They
that.
also predicted that I would have a dirty martini at a party. Which is just crazy. When you think about it.
On fire. So that was the replacement image because I guess once 9/11
Oh, that
happened,
was the gotcha.
They were like, oh shit. We're gonna get asked questions. I don't want to interview the FBI. Let's change it. Anyway. Any further thoughts before clip time?
Clippings times. I can imagine a lot of the dialogue was short, fast. So yeah, I was interested in
like your mom. Oh,
Wow.
short and fast. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. This is going to go down though as one of my ones that I would like to see again just on my own. I really enjoyed it. And I think,
once you kind of know, it's one of those that the movie changes the second time you view it, I'm guessing, because of what you know from the first viewing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like one of those. But also, I think it doesn't quite finish out my Tony Scott dance card. I think I'm still one shy. I think I have to go look.
Right.
I've seen the Pelham thing, the runaway train deal. That was his last one, which I liked. No one else seemed to at the time. Here we go. Oh, his 1970 movie, The Loving Memory, and his second movie in '83 called The Hunger. I've not seen those, but everything else I've seen.
Right.
I haven't seen The Last Boy Scout. I forgot. Still haven't seen it.
Oh,
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Again, that's another one I could have sworn we did here, but okay.
We gotta
watch Last Boy Scout. And The Hunger, for that matter. That's the Natasha Kinski, David Bowie one. Is that right?
Oh,
I think you're right.
Have I not?
Or is that
Wait.
no? That was Cat People. The Hunger, but it's also a vampire thing.
What is that on this list? I don't see it. I see Revenge. I saw that. Beverly Hills Cop 2. I've seen many times. Top Gun a million times.
Catherine Deneuve, David Bowie, Susan Sarandon. So
here it is. The Hunger.
Cat People is Bowie and Kinski.
We need to watch
Bowie
that
and Deneuve.
Yeah, this one I definitely haven't seen. Yeah, I would see this.
Erotic horror film. Just don't have enough of those.
Dan Hedaya. Well, there's your horror. He's all hairy and stuff.
he's already the halfway to werewolf. It's perfect.
He's Man Pube. It should be his hero name. I'm Man Pube. Let's get to these clips here. We got a number of them, and they're all stacked up and ready to play. So let's start with this one. The sound of a guard getting shot. And when I say a shot, I mean a shot in his arm. He's getting inoculated. And he made this noise. Oh!
I hate to get mass inoculation. Ugh.
I know, right?
It looks so painful.
Just getting pushed through there. Big, thick needles.
Hurry. Everybody's in a hurry. Bam, bam. No, slow down. Do this right, please.
Sounds like we got a new one coming with that bird flu in Texas that jumped from a dead bird to a lady, and now everyone's worried about it.
It did make me think, if you're in a third world country and they bring in an outsider to do a thing, like a doctor giving inoculations or an inspector, like just from a different country, that might be a CIA guy.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yep. Very well.
That's why you don't do that. Also, I was a little upset. I'm like, okay, 2000 or 90, what's supposed to be? I was like, trade wars with China. You just don't have Americans just pop into a Chinese prison and take somebody. That's international.
Also, why are we doing inoculations in a prison? Was it just for the staff and the guards and the?
Well, I'm assuming that they're supposed to be like an international operation. This has people of all nations.
UNICEF or something. One of those like.
Let me tell you, I am not anti-vax, not even remotely, but I am anti-vax in a Chinese prison.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? That's just I'll CVS. Fine, whatever.
Keep your nose clean, Scott. You'll never have to worry about it.
Oh no! What if CVS stands for Chinese Virus Center or Sending System?
Yeah.
Syringe. Oh no! Sorry, Randy. I cut you off. What are you gonna say?
I just was agreeing with you that I will die of an easily prevented disease in that prison.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right, here's your guy again in England.
It's Duncan. What are you doing at home? It's Duncan.
That's something. I realize it's
a clip, Scott. When you played the clip earlier of what else that guy, the gladiator stuff.
Yeah.
I was really thinking, oh my god, he's going to play the dude who's constantly rubbing his nipples in Mad Max Fury.
His third nip.
It does look like that guy a lot.
It does look like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Let's see, what's his name? I'm trying to see if he's still with us and doing work. I really like him. I can't find it. He's in here somewhere.
I don't understand how professional filmmakers all listened to that and thought, that sounds good enough. We're just going to let him sound like that actor.
Oh, it's a very unique voice. And it's perfect for Gladiator because he could really belt it out, like just
We reach back to hallowed antiquity.
antiquity.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah.
This thing in Spy Game that they allowed him to do, not great.
It's Duncan. What are you doing at home?
He just looked like a guy that just drank too much, ate too much fat, like blood sausage. Who knows what he's doing at home? All right, this is when I ask if the ends are USB 2 or USB 3.
Read the cable.
Read the cable, it says.
Read the cable.
Let's see. Boy Scouts in trouble.
Boy Scouts in trouble.
Well, I got a lot of this guy. I forgot how much
You
I
do.
recorded
Well,
him.
this guy was a favorite.
He's got a
of
great.
yours.
Yeah, he's great though. He's a lot
He
of
does
fun.
have a great voice. Yeah.
All right,
The nickname. Sure, the code name Boy Scout is awesome.
yeah,
That
Boy
is an
Scout's cool.
Awesome code name.
Yeah, and I like the origin of it. How you learned to shoot in the Boy Scouts. That was great. All right, one of my favorite alarm sounds we've seen on Film Sack, and here it is.
Heard.
That's a cool sound.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
It's almost Star Wars, like, oh shit, the
Oh, I didn't
Empire's
see that.
boarded the thing or whatever. It's good. Anyway, here's the Baratheon brother Stannis doing stuff.
You used to run an agent named Bishop.
Tom Bishop. Yeah, how is he?
We'd like to take a look at his files.
I'm trying to sound
I
American.
would too.
Just use your natural accent. He would have been so much better with his natural accent.
I agree, because he struggled with it, and it distracted me. But he's just let him be a British national, or it's naturalized. I guess we don't do that here. I don't know what we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
we do.
Do we have British
I'll
people in
bet
the CIA? Do you think we do?
Well, and the CIA is full of language experts. Man, it's just chock full of people
That's
who
true.
speak multiple languages and
That's true.
accents and so on. Like, just let him be normal.
All I have is movies to go by. I've never been there. I've never been allowed on Langley. Whatever they do.
Sure.
My geometry teacher in high school was retired CIA.
Oh,
And
cool.
she just brought it up one day, and everyone in the class sat up straight. And we were like, "Are you serious? Are you just like telling us a story?" And she's like, "No, retired CIA. I was with the CIA for 30 years, and then my retirement job is teaching high school geometry."
Wow.
And we were just like, "Where were you stationed?" And she just goes, "Hong Kong." Like, prove it.
Yeah.
And she just started speaking Chinese. I have no idea.
Oh man, I was hoping you'd say it. She
Wow.
pulled out a straw and went. Killed like 20 of them.
Started all of you. Yeah.
And you woke up.
Some cute pills at you.
Yeah, you woke up not remembering anything. Here's a great line about Noah. I like this line. It's great.
When did Noah build the ark, Gladys? Before the rain.
It's a great line. He built it before the rain, and that's what he was doing. He was building
I thought
all
you
this
were looking
shit.
for it. I thought you were looking for a date. You were looking for general information. Okay.
You want some info? And we heard this earlier, but I'll play it again. Where is it?
We need a third tit.
We need a third tit.
A third tip.
Yeah,
I thought I said Sir Tit. Okay.
Sir Tit.
We need Sir Tit.
Someone,
in Sir Tit.
Someone call Sir Tit. I'm sorry, but only Sir Penis is available. Here's
take it.
something about toaster ovens.
Toaster oven.
Well, I guess literally that's what he said.
Specifically about toaster ovens.
Yeah. The old guy saying stuff.
Give me Peter Brody at the FCC. I don't care. Just get him.
It's not old guy. It's the old get me a guy thing is what I wrote.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Give me somebody on the phone.
Right. Get me. Yeah.
Get me whoever. Doesn't matter what he's doing. I'll hold. Right.
Tell him it's me. Tell him it's me.
Yeah.
He'll drop everything.
Sounds like a miserable way to live.
Twice the sex with half the foreplay.
Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to judge.
Twice the sex would half the
Half the foreplay.
Right?
Well, for the guy, it might be. I don't know if the lady's enjoying that as much.
Right.
You know? I'm just saying. All right. I also think this music slaps. This is part of what Randy was saying, but I also kind of like this. It really works for me when that's going
we
off.
must be in Detroit.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Anyway, there's your clips. And now what? Oh, yeah. Look at this, everybody. Time for this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. What happened? Here it is. No, that's wrong, too. What happened here? There it is. Let's get to the Film Sack checklist. Benedict Wong making all things better when he's around. Check.
Yep.
With his local food. Let's see. We should find a way to reincarnate Tony Scott and make more great Tony Scott movies. Check. And finally, Brad Pitt is roughly the age now that he was in this. I'm sorry. He's roughly the age now that Redford was in this. Think of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, put that in your cheese and melt it.
Smokes.
Yeah. Let's get to the Star Trek connections. I know there's at least 2, but Randy,
I want you to guess even one.
Really? Am I up in the night here? Okay, so I think that I've seen. I got to find his name. Hold on.
It doesn't matter. There aren't any. There's no connections. I went through every person in this.
Really?
And it's an extensive cast.
Loong? Like I thought Ken Loong might be.
No, never. Benedict Wong. Nope, never. None of them.
Hold on.
Every single one of them. And I'm here to tell you, Control F TREK on their whole list. That gets real old. But there's not a single one. So I decided to do two hop.
Well, not Michael Paul Chan. Just checking. Checking? No, okay.
No Trek in his entire list.
All right.
I made two hop connections just for fun.
Okay.
Robert Redford was in The Company You Keep with Fred Henderson.
Yeah, he was.
Who was in Jack with Brent Spiner.
Oh.
And Brad Pitt was in Seven with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And he was in Ted 2 with Nana Visitor. Those are my two hops.
That's how you connected via two hops. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two hops is not bad. Not bad.
Fair enough. All right. Well, props to Michael Paul Chan. I thought you were in Star Trek. I don't know why that's props to him.
It's becoming so rare that we watch a movie made between 1970 and the current day that doesn't have any Star Trek.
Yeah, especially one with a big, broad cast of like character actors we know from a million other things. Like I'm actually really surprised by this. That's a shock.
Yeah,
I get it when it's
we do know one very important aspect of these movies is that they're not filmed in the United States.
Yeah.
Like this one was made out of London and shot on location. And that's a way to get away from Star Trek because Star Trek is very California.
That's true. A little bit of Vancouver, but yeah, I agree. All right. Well, check this out then. This is, what is it now? We're doing the soundtrack grade. I'm going to give it an EWTN for exactly what this needs. Now, I know there's some disagreement on location music and that sort of thing, but Harry Greason Williams, the composer here, frequent collaborator with the Scots, did all sorts of stuff. I really liked this soundtrack. I thought it was great. And maybe that's because the sound work.
Allow it.
Will you allow it in your courtroom today?
Yes. And I particularly liked that there were moments of this soundtrack where I felt like, oh, that sounds a little bit like the very beginning of Top Gun or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have to do something totally unique.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can activate my sensors from things I've heard before.
He's done a pretty interesting mix of stuff. He did recently, Gladiator 2 is his most recent. He was the music behind The Martian. So working with Ridley Scott twice there. Man on Fire with Tony Scott again. But he's also done some really interesting things like Gilded Age a year ago. It's a TV series. So he did a bunch of TV stuff. Before that, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Yeah.
Ooh, Chicken Run.
The Meg 2. Garbage movie, but he probably made it better. House of Gucci, that was Ridley, right? Ridley Scott, I think. Last Duel, yeah, he works with these guys a lot, so yeah, I like this guy. I think he killed it here. I think he did a good job.
We talked a little bit about the music when we watched The Replacement Killers, and that's Harry Gregson Williams.
Oh, I love that.
He's very reliable.
Yeah, he's sturdy music.
He's sturdy. I like it.
And he's kind of Hans Zimmer adjacent. Like Gladiator 1, Hans Zimmer. Gladiator 2, this guy. Let's see what else. He did some other things. Anyway.
Underrated Harry Gregson Williams score, Cowboys and Aliens. Don't
really?
I want to listen to some great music.
One of this year, as mentioned in Brian's song, was this year's thing.
Yeah, came up.
Very nice. All right, let's get to the social media post. This is where in 280 characters or less, you guys sum up the film. And because this is the last episode of the year, I'm going to change up this thing entirely. It's not going to be the same at all. So this time we start with Randy.
Spy Game. I met a younger man in Vietnam. He was a nice boy, scout who loved his mom. I spent the rest of my life close to him, and we went far, killing folks on a whim. He never thanked me. He never thanked me for saving his life, but really he was my only true wife.
Wow.
Snap.
That's some
See what you did.
Robert Frost shit going on here today.
Kidding.
It's really good. Let's swing it over to Dunaway now.
Now for some disappointment. Spy Game. I had bitter prison sex. Wait, that was last week's reindeer games. Still fits. Hashtag poop pills.
I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
That was good.
No.
Brian Ibbett, your turn.
Spy Game. After sacrificing a few pawns, Nathan risks. Let me start over. Spy Game. After sacrificing a few pawns, Nathan risks everything to get his bishop out of check.
Nice. You know what? That was a bit of a mouthful. I don't blame you for hitching on it.
Yeah. Nathan risks. Listen, you don't want to know how many times I had to re-record some of those really fast talking parts of my intro.
And forgive me for this complaint, but did we run out of money? Or did we just run out of concern before de-aging Robert Redford even a little bit for the Vietnam flashbacks?
Yeah, they tried with lighting and a high collar, but it didn't really work. Yeah,
you put sunglasses on him to hide the bags under their eyes, but like he looked older in 1971 than he did in 1991.
Yeah, and Pitt looked the same. They weren't really trying. It's fine. I still, I don't know. It kind of. Again, it kept coming back to what's with all these modern CRTs in the wrong year. Like 91, they did not have those. And then I guess, again, this is the kind of movie you shouldn't think too hard.
Right.
The presentation is enough. Just enjoy it. Let it wash over you. Don't think too hard.
The visual effects guy on this movie was Trevor Wood. And 4 years before this movie, he made Event Horizon.
Oh.
And I felt like that was just shockingly good visual effects.
Yeah.
And I just wanted some more. Give me a little bit more and smooth out Robert Redford's face.
You said this was Trevor Wood? Is that who it was?
Trevor Wood.
Trevor Wood. Now, a fun fact, when he was much younger, he slept over at ZZ Top's house, and they decided to write a song about it the next day called I Woke Up With Wood. Just kidding. That is a totally made up story.
Nice. Nice.
I just was trying I wanted to divert people's assumptions that was about a wiener. Okay. That's all.
Okay.
I want to take that ride again. It was fun.
We need a third tit.
We need a third tit. All right. Let's get to the alternate titles. These were just handed to me. My gosh, right off the presses. This was almost called the 2 handsomest actors in Hollywood handsome history to handsome spy shit. Handsome history. Oh, in handsome history. Anyway. Or White Club. Because there's not a lot of not a lot of people of color, although I guess in Asia and whatever. But back at home, back at Langley, woo, the wonderful whites of Langley. All right, let's get to a text from a listener 801-471-0462. We actually have 2 and a voicemail today. Here's a quick one in text form from Barry. I don't know if this is our Barry or a different Barry, but he says, "Hey, Film Sackers, had to write in about Die Hard 2 and its production." Scott, I let it go once, but after a few times of saying how much Robert Patrick has aged in 25 years, he says, guess what? It's actually 35 years. Scott does math. Crazy. I know time flies by. And also Brian's renaming of the movie to Die Hart because of Powell eating too many Twinkies was gold. Keep up the work, Barry. He does say P.S.
Good job.
He says P.S. Creamy Peen. I don't know if it's our Barry, but it's definitely a TMS listener. Here's another one from an anonymous person who says, have you guys seen Predestination with Ethan Hawke? I have not. Oh. Currently on Netflix. Not sure if it's right for Film Sack, but I would love to hear anyone's take on the great mind F this movie is. The time travel twists are nuts.
Always down with Ethan Hawke.
Anybody see this? Predestination?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me just do a quick search.
I feel like I have, but Ethan Hawke makes these movies. He makes so many movies that feel a little bit like Gattaca. Just a little bit.
Gattaca likes, yeah.
Yeah, Gattaca likes.
You know what? I know this movie because the poster bugs me. Let me show it to you guys. So whenever I see this poster, he looks unnaturally elongated.
Yeah. Have I seen this?
I've
seen this.
Talk about torsos that are too long.
Right.
Like, what are you doing there?
Ethan, okay. He is. They surely took an image of Ethan Hawke and
Sarah Snook.
him.
I like Sarah
Snook.
I like Sarah Snook.
Yeah.
I love the name Sarah Snook too.
Shiv.
Noah Taylor?
Chivalry.
Noah Taylor.
I like him.
Let's get this on the list.
Cooney Hisham.
To save the future. He must protect his past and crotch.
The guy that played Where is he? Oh, in The Matrix Reloaded. That's how I know him. Christopher Kirby. We watched that guy recently on the show. Anyway, we'll consider it. We don't know what it is. We'll do our best to think about that one. That seems like it might fit. Then we got final text here. Says, Film Sack, please don't reset the Mario voice. It just gets better every week. He says, also, don't let Randy get away with saying Mario Bros. It's Mario Brothers, damn it.
That's funny.
I mean, look.
You need to hang out with a teenager.
Yeah.
The younger generations all have different names for everything.
Yep.
And it infects you.
It's Super Smash Brothers' fault because Super Smash Bros became so common to hear that now if you see a BROS, that's all anybody does in that generation. And Randy's right. Your kids will do it.
Yeah, the Dutch Brothers has screwed up my son and his fiance. Like they can't call it Dutch Brothers. They have to call it Dutch Bros. And then I say, what street do you live on? Do you live on Like on or do you live on
You're
Ave?
such an ass.
I love
you
it.
Live on you pronounce, even if it reads as an abbreviation, you pronounce the whole word.
Yeah, you don't say the ESC key, you say the escape key.
Right, exactly.
You don't say
They still say it's the aux. Do you have any aux cables?
Right. Yeah.
No, an auxiliary cable.
Yeah, is that what you mean? Aux cable.
And now you don't get it.
I hate
It also goes the other way too, because all I gotta do is ask a kid if they want to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they'll look at you like, where?
What? Well, they branded that though. They pushed that down our throat.
Yeah, and you can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I could totally pronounce it. I just say, let's go to the bucket.
Let's go get a double down from
bucket. I like the bucket.
We had one of the KFCs with the giant bucket in the air that was outside the building. It was like one of the wonders of the world.
We have the first one ever built here in still there in Murray in the very first.
That's not very Kentucky.
I know, right? That's you read the story. It's crazy. Salt Lake's the first Kentucky Fried Chicken. It makes no sense. Anyway. Nicely done. Let's see. Oh, here's a voicemail. This is a quick one about a movie, and we talk about Kevin Durant a lot every time he's on Bean Fork and all that.
Right. Yeah.
Here's Steve saying we missed some.
Hey Scott, Brian, and Randy. This is Steve calling from Grand Rapids, and this has come up twice recently, so I thought I'd chip in and say I think the best Scott Grimes and Kevin Durant movie is Mystery Alaska. It didn't come up on any of the other discussions. It has great sports, comedy, touching moments, and Bean Fork is actually not a douche. Plus, there's also these little-known people like Russell Crowe, Mary McCormick, Hank Azaria, Cole Meany, Lolita Davidovich, and Burt Reynolds. I'd love to know if you're familiar with this movie, if you think this is sackable. So, love you guys. Keep up the great work. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, absolutely sackable. Definitely on my watch list. Hard to find, but definitely we may sack it in 2025.
Never even heard of this thing. It's I assume it's about hockey in a small town in Alaska or something. Looks like. Let's see. Russell Crowe looking like 5 years old in this. Jeez.
Right. Yeah.
99 this was. So it was only a year until Gladiator.
99 this was.
All the photos on IMDb are like postage stamp size. What the hell are we doing here? Goodness. All right. Burt Reynolds. Did he say Burt Reynolds? He must have. Did he? I don't know. I like Burt Reynolds.
Didn't catch that. I caught Cole Meany. Like you said that looked very.
If you want to see a picture of Burt Reynolds in the spitting image of my dad in the 50s when he was young, I'm going to share it now. This is, and I'm not kidding, exactly what my dad looked like right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Like a man. That's uncanny, actually. He didn't look like that toward the end, but he looked like that then.
Was he that sweaty?
But neither did Burt Reynolds. No, he is a little shiny there, isn't he? I don't know what that's about.
little sweaty.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Thank you for that.
When we sacked Robin Hood, I was so excited about Scott Grimes that I just went through his entire filmography, and I was like, I'm adding anything to our list that is less than 2 hours long. Anything. I'm so ruling out Oppenheimer, right?
When they filmed Robin Hood, do you think Scott Grimes ran up to Russell Crowe and said, "Hey, dude, remember that Alaska hockey movie we made? You remember that?" Do you think that happened? I always wonder about this. When actors, they do a thing when no one's a big name yet, and then one of them goes on to make huge fame, like Russell Crowe. And then Scott Grimes bellies up to a movie and just happens to get a role inside it, a small role in that guy's next giant movie. What is that like? Do you think they're all friendly? Or are they all like looking down on each other now? Like, how does it work in Hollywood?
You got to be people, right? You're still human, right?
I guess so.
People.
I don't know. People are weird. Hollywood's weird, man. They get weird.
I think we get what we put into it lots of times. I think the longer you're in Hollywood, the weirder you get. I'm not saying you can't go in weird. I'm just saying that once you get there, it's hard to know what reality is anymore.
Yeah. Money and stuff do weird things to people. Lots of it, I mean.
Look what we did to Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Look at him now. Oh, my gosh.
Jesus.
What have we done?
Sorry about that, Corey Feldman. We love you.
Ruined him. Broke him.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
If you want to leave a voicemail or a text similar to the fine folks who did today, you can. 801-471-0462 is that number. You can also email us at filmsack@gmail.com. I'd like to thank some regular patrons on our Patreon: John T. Curvin, Scott Taskinen, and a guy named McStomp. Woo! McStomp. You guys are all great. Big thanks to you guys. If you are members, you already know what you're getting because you just got a drop yesterday from the great Brian Ibbett talking about comedic performances, legendary comedians.
Understated, like lesser known, or not lesser known, but like understated comedy performances from legends, from comedy legends.
Yeah, very cool host special that only you'll get if you're a patron. And you'll also get other benefits like no commercials ever, pre-show content every week, and like I said, these host specials and some art-related stuff in the mail from me. Movie-related art in the mail is what I'm trying to say.
Art-related?
Related. It's related to art. It's not art.
No.
It's
I
related
didn't even question it.
Like Chicago-style pizza.
Yeah. Prints from drawings I did about movie shit. There you go. I nailed it. Anyway, other great monthly benefits. You just got to sign up today and find out. Patreon.com/filmsack. Our next movie is a movie I'm going to shit my pants over. Dark City, I can't
Yeah, finally some Dark City.
One of my favorite movies ever. I love this movie so much. Rufus Sewell, freaking weird role from Kiefer Sutherland, directed by
Jennifer Connelly.
Oh yeah, I always forget she's in this, but yeah, she's great in it.
How do you forget that?
I love that because she's not that big a deal in it. It's a smaller role.
Always a big deal every time.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's from
Never not a big deal.
It's from iRobot, legendary iRobot director Alex Proyas, and that's not his best movie. iRobot's okay, but this is, I think, his best movie. This movie freaking rules. He did The Crow, the original Crow. I love
watch that
Dark
new
City.
Crow. Just
now,
as individuals, not
here's the hang up on the only hang up I have. I think that I think that Dark City is a masterpiece either way, but I think that the director's cut is legitimately like double good.
Is that how we're going to watch it?
I don't know.
Double good?
I don't know what Amazon has. That's where
Amazon
we're seeing
has the hour and 40 minutes, and I'm guessing that's probably cut for time.
That means we get a unneeded Kiefer Sutherland narration. It's a little like Blade Runner the way they did it. It's okay. It's fine, but I'll take what we can get.
I have the DVD. I wonder if I
have the DVD.
I do too. Somewhere we should use that.
Yeah,
maybe I'll pull that out. I might even have a Blu-ray if they ever did it. I would have bought it.
Do I have the VHS of this?
I don't know.
So interesting what you have, and any given week.
Yeah,
and this is the first week of a new year, where now we're going to think about what's Brian Ibbett singing about later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dude, this has Bruce Spence, so you got your Mad Max connection. You got William Hurt. So
he's the whirly gig driver. What's this thing? The pilot, the copter pilot.
Yeah, that weird gangly looking dude. He was also in Thunderdome as a totally different character. Weirdly.
Oh right, yeah.
I guess they did that with. They did that.
Started sacking it already.
They did that with Fury Road.
Do we know the different times on the versions? Like Brian, you said an hour 48 for the Amazon version.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a time for the 2008 director's cut. I just see a list of, oh my God, all the stuff that's in the director's cut that's not in the.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I don't know how much time it adds, but it sure adds to the movie. It's very good.
I think I bought the DVD before the director's cut was released.
Interesting. This is a movie that toward the latter part of Ebert's career. He had said it was one of the greatest films he'd ever seen.
Oh, they got a new Blu-ray.
This is interesting. When Christopher Nolan started thinking about the writing of the script for Inception, this movie influenced it more than any other. I'm telling you, man, we're in for it. It's going to be great regardless of which version we see. So
if only Netflix still sent DVDs, because then I could request this one.
Oh man,
request the director's cut.
Do you think they still do something for a few like fancy people, like someone who's just like,
fancy people?
They kept it going for.
I like an idea of that, like a black Netflix labeled kind of thing that comes into the mail that only platinum something.
Yeah, the Illuminati level stuff.
Yeah,
I'm in.
You're sure it's still Randy? You sure it's still airing? Because I'm seeing on Real
Prime.
Good. It is okay because it's saying not on any of your services in the U.S. But if you say it's on Prime, I believe you.
I do too. And even if it's not, we're getting this done after freaking 12 years of the show.
Yeah, for sure.
We're doing it.
Well,
All right.
yeah, and we're 2 days away from the Great Shuffling.
Yeah.
On all the
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So who knows? Maybe that director's cut will appear on another.
Yeah, the director's cut is listed as 111 minutes. That's not too far off from the other. So
that's
what is 100? Let's see. 90 is 1 hour and a half.
60 from right. So we just so it's about
51. An hour 51.
Yes,
I'm always fine.
10
when
minutes.
There's 4 of us. I'm always fine with 1 or 2 of us watching a different cut. Except when it's a different movie, like the Payback director's cut ends up making it a completely different movie, and that's like I don't want to watch a different movie than you guys.
Yeah, in that case, a lesser movie. I think that director's
like when
cut's
it's just added footage, extended scenes, etc. I think it's kind of
3
cool.
minutes difference. I still might spring for the it's only $5 to buy it on Amazon Prime versus rent it for $4.19. So
May as well just
80
buy
cents
it.
more to buy the HD. I might actually buy it.
I'm going to do that
made
too.
of money. I didn't know you was made of money.
Check out Apple might have it for similar. Let's see. I like to keep them.
that would be. I'd much rather have it on Apple.
Let's see if I can do that real quick. This is the most Dark City talk, or this is the most next week movie talk we've ever done.
It really is.
Yeah. We're very excited.
All right, here it is. It is, same. Well, it's $1 difference. $3.99 to rent, $1 more to buy. HD, is it HD? I think it is. Yes.
$4.99 to buy it on Apple.
I think I'm getting it.
$4.99.
I'm getting it. Unless this isn't the director's cut, because I really do want that version. I really love director's cut.
If you can see the time on, the one on Apple says an hour 41 minutes. So that is even shorter than the. Here we go. Buy 2 versions, HD 2 versions. Dark City Director's Cut $9.99 to buy.
Worth it.
$9.99.
I'm doing that regardless. I didn't know they had it. See, this is why I'm so adamant about this. This isn't one of those movies where they put in some lost footage. Yeah. It's where things are different.
It's a Blade Runner level change.
Yes, there you go. It's Blade Runner level. So you still can respect the theatrical, but you just know intrinsically that director's cut's better. That's like this. Oh, this movie's so good. I can't wait. All right. That'll be next week. I literally wrote on my notes, Dark City, gonna shit my pants. I'm really that excited.
Dark City in my pants.
Oh, I love it so much. All right. That's going to do it for us. Filmsack.com is where you want to go for all the stuff we've talked about. And a quick note, just a thanks for a great year, everybody. Our next episode will be the 1st of 2025. Not the first, like the first. I mean, the first episode of 2025.
First movie, or the first,
Dark City kicking it off is what we're saying.
It's a great way to kick it off.
Yeah, I think so too. But you guys were awesome this year. Just a great year with FilmSack, and really appreciate the listeners and the viewers and everybody who's been out there pining for more FilmSack. We've been at this for a while, and you guys are a dedicated bunch. So we just appreciate you as we exit this year. We hope for a good 2025. We will be here to make it so your weekends are good. Okay.
Weekend good.
That's all we can do for you is make your weekends better.
Yeah.
Your weekdays are up to you. All right. Good luck. That is going to do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
With half the foreplay.
We'll see you next time.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. Frogpants.com.
We need a third tit.